So the real estate sales data is out in the state of Florida for 2025. We have officially come to a close. Let's dive in and check out the numbers and see how we finish the year. All right, starting off in Broward County, we can see closed sales were up 11% from last year, so that's a good sign. We had more transactions, but median sales price, look, it's down 1% for the year. So obviously, home prices have cooled, and we've seen them come down in various parts throughout the state of Florida. But look at month's supply of inventory. This continues to tick down. Now, I know it's up just slightly from last year, 4.6 to 4.8. But as I mentioned, over the last few months, we've seen this. It hit a high in around the summer, and then it's been starting to tick down. Remember, the lower that number goes, that will favor sellers because now there's less supply. We're not quite there yet, but just keep that in mind. All right, jumping over to Dade County. Dade County closed sales weren't as high, up 3.7%. Median sales price down 2.2%. Remember, this is single-family homes, so they lost a little bit more than Broward County. And their months of supply, even though higher than Broward County, it's still ticking down. It's up, from 5.2 last year, now 6.2. So definitely still a buyer's market in Dade County, but supply of inventory we have to keep our eye on as we enter into 2026. All right, in Palm Beach County, look at Palm Beach County, up 23% in closed sales, transactions. I'm sure realtors and anyone that sold last year is loving that number, up 23%. And look, out of the Tri-County, their median sales price actually went up 1.6%. I got to imagine has to do with all the activity. And month supply of inventory, I mean, look, they're sitting at 4.6 months. That's pretty low. So it was a very active, productive real estate market here in Palm Beach County for 2025. All right, then let's look at Florida as a whole. Florida as a whole was up almost 6% in transactions. Look at that. No price change whatsoever. Stayed even from December 2024 to 2025. In month supply of inventory with the state, relatively on the lower side here. I mean, look at that. It's actually down from a year ago. We've seen, the Tri-County is still up slightly, but in the state of Florida as a whole, it's actually down slightly. So you can see the trend. Supply has definitely decreased, especially the later part of 2025. All right, now we're moving over to townhouses and condos back to Broward County, up 5.2% in transactions. But look at median sales price. Condos are a really tough market still, down 9.3%. So if you were waiting to buy a condo and you put it on hold last year, probably a good decision on your part. Values have come down. And month supply of inventory, this is still a big number. This is going to take quite a while to get through. It's ticking down ever so slowly, but still heavily favored in the buyer side. All right, Miami-Dade County condo market up 7.9%. Their median sales price down 2.3%. Not as great as Broward County, but down nonetheless. And month supply of inventory, obviously a huge number. We were sitting up in the 14 months, so it is slowly ticking down just like Broward, but still heavily favors the buyers. Palm Beach condo market had a lot of activity, kind of similar to their single-family homes, up 31% compared to last year. Their median sales price is still down 6.5%. Look at month supply of inventory here. It's actually down from last year, 8.8 to 8.5. So still a good amount. This is definitely a lower amount than Dade and Broward, but still a buyer's market when it comes to supply of inventory in Palm Beach County. All right, we'll round it off here with Florida as a whole. Florida, condos and townhomes up 10% compared to last year. Median sales price throughout the state down 1.6%. So you can see kind of South Florida had larger decreases in townhouses and condos. And month supply of inventory, this has ticked up from a year ago, 8.8. Obviously not nearly as large as Dade and Broward, but it has increased. There's definitely still a good amount of supply, especially down in Southeast Florida and Florida as a whole. So it's definitely a buyer's market when it comes to townhouses and condos. All right, so that recaps 2025 is officially in the books in the state of Florida here when it comes to the real estate market. So coming in, buyers, as you can see, if you're looking to buy a condo, a townhouse, there's still plenty of inventory out there. Prices have come down, so that's a great opportunity for you. And then we look at the single family home market. We've seen some decreases, right, from compared to a year ago. It's definitely cooled and gone down a little bit. And when you couple that with the fact that interest rates are now a full % lower than they were this time last year, we're hovering around 7%. Now we're hovering around 6%. So let's just put that in perspective. If you waited it was actually to your advantage, right? You've seen prices come down just a little bit or cooled off, and you now have lower interest rates. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to get into the real estate market now. You have a lot going for you when it comes to rates, when it comes to more affordability than you had in previous years. So it's just a great opportunity. The thing you have to pay attention though, that inventory number, I mentioned that has ticked down. If you wait too long and inventory continues to decrease, then it could flip. It could flip from going from a buyer's market back over to a seller's market. So you need to keep your eye on that. That's why I think now is a great opportunity before we see that trend continue to go lower. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you get in a home in 2026. Have a great day.